Robert Halfon is the Conservative MP for Harlow. He's also Deputy Chairman for the party and sits in the Cabinet. Also, a little later, we'll be talking to Will Quince, the new Tory MP for Colchester. But first, Robert Halfon. Good morning, Robert. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning.
Sad, very sad indeed. But can I ask you, first of all, what do you think Britain should do?
Well, first of all, my heart goes out to everyone, all the families and friends of those who lost their lives, especially those who lost their lives from Essex. There are no easy answers to this. This is a worldwide phenomenon. This hasn't just been a tragedy in Tunisia. We saw 3 separate incidents, one in France, one in Kuwait. There have been one incident after another across the world. The rise of radical extreme Islamism is a worldwide phenomenon. It's as grave to me, I think, as Nazi Germany was in the 1930s. And what the government have said, and I think it's the right thing, we have to step up our security, we have to counter Islamism on social media, we have to give police all the powers possible in order to combat what is going on the internet. We have to make sure, and the government are doing this, seizing the passports of radicals from this country who are going overseas. We also have to try and root out, I don't like calling them Islamic State, because as Cameron said, they're not Islamic, they're not a state. We have to but root out these Islamist extremists in Syria and Iraq.
Robert, why do we, sorry to interrupt you, but why do we keep on allowing them to run the game, if you like? They keep on changing their name, we keep on using the name that they want to be called by. Why don't we just refer to them as a bunch of murdering thugs?
Well, I think you're right. I think we should refer to them as I said, I think they're the new Nazis. They want to impose their own version of totalitarianism. What they're doing in Iraq and Syria is horrific. The problem is it's a many-headed monster. You can get rid of one lot and then a new version of it, even more extreme. It says something that so-called ISIL are more extreme than Al-Qaeda, but that's why the government have to step up security. They're right, I think, to be taking part. I think we're the second biggest country in taking part in airstrikes over Iraq and helping with surveillance and intelligence in Syria and Iraq.
But a lot of security people, Robert, will say that that isn't really what has to be done. We have to take the fight to them, that Britain has to be involved with some other countries in the world. We have to go to where they are, root them out and deal with them. Why doesn't the government seem to want to do that?
Well, I think the government is doing that. It is supporting moderate forces in Iraq and Syria. It's, as I say, I think it's the second biggest country taking part in airstrikes to try and get rid of the Islamist extremists in those countries. And it's not just overseas, though. It's also at home. A new law comes in force only tomorrow, which says that all public institutions, whether it's universities or colleges or whatever, have to take active steps if they identify radical Islamism growing at home, because this is not just a problem overseas, this is a problem here, and we've seen extreme Islamists from Britain go to these countries, and we have to do everything we can to stop it.
Now, you backed military intervention in Syria when there was a vote in the House of Commons. That didn't happen. Do you think that was a mistake on the government's part?
Well, I think that, the government wanted to do it, but they were outvoted in the House of Commons. But that was for a specific reason, because President Assad had used chemical weapons against his own citizens. So, but the Parliament and others, all through Parliament, voted against that intervention. And I think that actually on this, the government have got it right, because it's not easily identifiable. The government are supporting British airstrikes over Iraq. They are supporting the moderate forces like the Kurds in Iraq to try and beat back the Islamist extremists. They've got surveillance operations there, and we've stepped up security in this country. This is killing innocent people, Robert, as well as it is killing
those thugs who are causing the problems. And when we kill innocent people from the airstrikes, it just spreads the situation even more. I mean, do you think that Brits going abroad now will be safe? Because they're going to feel like they're going to be new targets wherever they go, aren't they?
Well, every war has tragedies, and if you're talking about innocent people, it is sadly the Islamist extremists are killing thousands of people across the Middle East, and as we've seen, encouraging and promoting terrorist atrocities around the world. It depends, of course. I mean, there'll always be Foreign Office advice as to where British people, where it's safe for British people to go. But who knows? I mean, this is a war like we've never faced, and I genuinely think that anything could happen anywhere, as we've seen. We've seen it in France. We've seen the Islamic extremist ISIL come on the border of Turkey. So, of course, everybody has to be very careful.